What do you think is a ceiling?
Charlie, even last week, I pushed back on the MJ ceiling just a bit because I think the nature of MJ's career, he literally blocked people from getting championships. And I'm just not sure that in this era of basketball, Ja will have such a stranglehold on the game. But Ja, to me, and I had said Steph Curry last week in that I think Ja has the ability and will win championships in this league. But I think when you think of point guards with similar athleticism, a guy like Russell Westbrook, comes to mind. And you think of him, of course, breaking the triple-double record and the energy and fervor at which he plays. I think when you look at Russ's game, the assist part, I think we hear triple-double, but I don't know that people grasp the way that he has been able to make people around him better. I do think Ja has better handles, and I know that Swagoo has a great comp, but I'm going to go with the Russell Westbrook comparison in terms of the energy that he plays with day in and day out.
Yeah, man. I could understand why, the explosive nature, especially us watching Russell Westbrook throughout his career, but I get big AI energy. I get big Allen Iverson energy from Ja Morant, man. And it's almost like that the little guy that's doing things that's defying what we think little guys should be able to do in this league. And we all know how we hold AI to the standard and changing the game, not only in basketball, but culturally as well. And I just get a lot of those vibes. One of my favorite rappers, Moneybagg Yo, made a song about Ja, Rookie of the Year. And once you start getting songs written about you, it's different. You becoming iconic. You becoming cultural. You starting to get a city and a state to kind of organize behind you and lead the way. Like AI played in Philly, and we all know how much Philly loves their sports team. But you got to deliver. There's a responsibility with coming with the way you talk, the way you carry yourself, the way you go after people. And the thing that I respect about his game, and I hate using the term cut from the old school or cut from a different cloth, but Ja is, man. Ja want to cut your head every time he plays. It don't matter if it's LeBron, he going to give you a 40-piece. It don't matter if it's Brooklyn, he going to give you a 40-piece. He is going at your star. He will not allow, right now, when you watch the Memphis Grizzlies and Ja is on the floor, he will not allow the so-called superstar that's coming in the building to be better than Ja Morant. And that is AI energy. If we think back, look, I followed AI. You know AI as well as anybody, but I followed AI when he was at Georgetown. And when he would get into the middle of the lane, you just could not believe he was finna yoke on a 7-footer. You did not think that he had that type of mentality. We talked about physicality of the game with the Warriors and the Bulls. Ja never shies away from going to the rack against anybody. I just get that type of energy from him, and I not only get it in basketball, man, I get it culturally because remember, it took us a while to really understand what AI was doing in the NBA because we were so used to 6'6", we were so used to the tall man's game and being able to control and actually be the one option on a basketball team. AI changed all of that. Ja done took down the Warriors. Ja done took down all of the top teams, all of the teams that we consider the best. And his team right now is sitting in the Western Conference and finally starting to get looked at as who they are as a team. But it's Ja. His energy is big and it's very AI-like when I watch him play basketball.
And Monica,
You know, Swagoo, I love. What's up?
Monica, you compare him to Russell Westbrook, but Russell Westbrook up to this point hasn't won a championship. Ja Morant, the way things are going right now, it looks like a title could certainly be in his future. Do you agree with that?
I do, Charlie, and I'm glad that you said that because that's exactly what I was going to say to Swagoo. But I think when you look at AI's career, that piece is missing too. And so this is a huge compliment to who Ja Morant is, that we are parsing apart the games of a guy that holds the triple-double record, of a guy that was a cultural icon. I mean, if you want to throw in handles, I mean, you could throw in some of Kyrie, which I know Chauncey Billups had really powerful statements to say. And so what we're seeing in Ja, quite honestly, I don't know that we have seen packaged this way. There are certainly pieces of his game that give you AI energy, Russell Westbrook energy. Name your guy that is explosive and a heady point guard and a tremendous leader. But I think what is going to be the most unique about what Ja did, and Big Perk said this, Swagoo, and I agree with it, I do think that he will be the next small market guy to bring a championship to his city because in this era of NBA, guys are looking around. You got a piece or two. I don't know what's going to happen with the Celtics, but hypothetically, if I'm Jaylen Brown and I know something's amiss up there,
100%.
Ja is a guy that people are going to want to
100%.
play with. And so I'm not saying that is the trade, but what is happening in Memphis? Literally, like last night you're watching that game and you're thinking, oh, these young fellas fitting to run the Warriors out the gym. Like, and not disrespectful to the Warriors, but there is such a tremendous energy and youth and identity with this Memphis Grizzlies group, and Ja Morant is the head of that snake, for sure.
Man, I got to be honest with you, and a lot of it is basketball, right? I think Ja, I'm about to deaf to my mentions, but Ja is more skilled than Russell Westbrook. That's probably why I don't put him, as far as explosive, I put him in that category. But skill-wise, and one thing we didn't give AI a lot of credit for because we got so enamored with the crossover against Jordan, we got so enamored with his toughness, we didn't give him a lot of credit for his unbelievable athletic ability and his skill, like his skill as a basketball player. We didn't talk about that because AI was so polarizing, and it's hard to be as polarizing as AI now because of social media. Everybody got a draw and attention. You got different markets and all of that. But I'm telling you,
and he did it already.
Yeah. But I'm telling you, when I watch Ja Morant, it's an excitement about watching him play the game that I haven't got from a lot of guys recently. Like Giannis is very exciting to watch, but it's limited skill-wise. You legit don't know what Ja gonna do. You legit have no idea.
On either side.
Once he leaves the floor, blessings to Ja. I'm just glad we have a young face that could potentially become the face of the NBA. We got a young face in Ja Morant.
I love it.
That could potentially become that guy.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.